Back to the final block of this week's 101 Sports Webcast. I'm now joined by our fantasy football experts, Sophia and DJ, to talk about some football. So the title of this segment is Panic, Don't Panic. So I got 4 players here, y'all. You're going to tell me whether I should be panicking after the recent performances or don't panic, keep them on my roster. We're going to start with you, DJ, and we're going to start with DeMarco Murray. What are your thoughts?
All right, so for DeMarco Murray, I'm going to go ahead and say panic. The Eagles' offensive line has been extremely underwhelming. He's had the worst 2-game start for a running back in NFL history. He has 21 carries for only 11 yards. So I'm going to go ahead and say panic for DeMarco.
Sophie?
I'm going with don't panic. I just say you bench him for a few weeks, let it play out. He was a top-scoring running back last season with 294 points. And I think dropping him right now would just be premature and pretty much a mistake.
You know, it's a really tough call, honestly. I don't know where to go on this one. Like, he's played terrible, like the worst running back ever. But at the same time, an athlete of that caliber, you might want to keep him around. So I don't know. Jury's out. Anyway, Sophie, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about Jimmy Graham. What are your thoughts about him?
I say panic. Drop him now while you have the chance. Sure, he's performed wonderfully with the Saints, but now he's with the Seahawks. And last season, the Seahawks threw 200 less passes than the Saints did. And he's going from a pass-heavy offense to one that's more running. And when they run it to Lynch, meaning he's not going to get as much yardage as needed.
What do you think, DJ?
For Graham, I'm going to go ahead and say don't panic. I think it's a little premature. The Seahawks have yet to get their offense rolling. Marshawn Lynch has yet to kind of get his start, hit his stride. And you saw week 1, they really targeted him in the end zone. He had a touchdown catch. I say don't panic, let him sit for a little bit.
You know, this one, I got to go with Sophie. I got to go with Jimmy Graham. Panic. The Seahawks just are not the team that they were last year, the past few years. The Seahawks in general scare me, so I'm panicking. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about Jeremy Hill. DJ, what are your thoughts about him?
I'm going to go ahead and say don't panic. You know, fumbles happen in the NFL. Jeremy Hill, he's still a big-bodied running back. They're going to target him in the red zone a lot. He's going to get a lot of carries, a lot of touchdowns. I say don't panic.
Yeah. What do you think, Sophie?
I say panic. He had a really bad game last season. He was replaced, and his replacement did better than he did. So, you know what? What's to say that he's going to play next game?
You know, personally, I feel for Jeremy Hill. I think he'll bounce back. We all have our bad days. You know, he'll shake it off. I'm not too worried about him. Final guy we're going to talk about a quarterback. We're going to talk about Sam Bradford. Sophie, what are your thoughts?
I say panic. 2013 season, 2014 season, he's been injured with his knee injury. It's been reoccurring. What's to say it's not going to happen again this year? While he does perform well when he's not injured, I mean, it's very hindering, and he's very injury prone.
Yeah, what do you think, TJ?
I'm going to go ahead and agree with you. Panic on Bradford. He hasn't looked very comfortable in the Eagles' offense. People say the second half of that Week 1 game, he played great. He threw 3 passes over 9 yards, and he only completed 2 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and say panic. He doesn't look very comfortable.
That's very true. And that offensive line in Philadelphia, as you touched on, terrible. Yeah, absolutely terrible. Well, that's all we have for this episode of 101 Sports Webcast. Check us out next week, and check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Take care.